My presentation is on Ansel Adams. Ansel Adams is a photographer well known for taking photos of the US wilderness. Many of his landscapes have a haunting quality to them. His later works have a poignancy to the amount of detail. Whether it's his pictorialism works or the modernist ones, he has managed to capture the purity of the environment with no evidence of human taint. An exception to this is Moonrise over the Hernandez, as it features a cemetery. Despite the almost spooky quality to the image, Moonrise over the Hernandez was insanely popular. I quote from Charles Hagan, "No doubt much of the appeal of this picture lies in its pious sentimentality, with the last rays of sunlight gliding over the cemetery's rude crosses. But even this treacly work demonstrates Adams' sophisticated use of modernist form and painstaking craft to accentuate his otherwise romantic imagery. The skies that tower above the village are in effect a giant canvas, punctuated by the pale shapes of the moon and a few streaky clouds, and the whole image is masterfully printed to wring every bit of emotion from it." Charles Hagan also says that you could compare Ansel Adams as the Norman Rockwell of landscape photography, immensely popular but critically negligible. Every year brings another lavishly produced book recapitulating some aspect of his long career. Every holiday season, another calendar or two appears, featuring his breathtaking black and white views of Yosemite Valley in California. There is a second critic that I have looked at, Laura Cumming. She wrote a review on Ansel Adams in 2008. She goes on to describe his work and how The Moonrise over the Hernandez is an eye-catching picture, yet only an 8x10 print. Despite this, she outlines the reasons she feels that Ansel Adams is still so popular, and I quote, "But Adams' art is still unsurpassed for wonderment and for its sense of wonder. Nothing looks familiar through his eyes." She also says that Adams could get such glittering blacks and platinum bright whites, and so many halftones in between, that it sometimes looks as if his monochrome photographs are breaking into colour. You sense reds and golds that can't be there, just as you imagine moods and presences that aren't literally evident in the landscape. Her last paragraph on Ansel Adams is that he was a supreme technician in both the darkroom and in the outdoors, and that he could get 24 greys out of a negative. In my opinion, Ansel Adams is a brilliant landscape photographer, one that I would love to be as good as. His standard and quality of work is second to none. He is one of my favourite photographers, and he inspires me in the style of my landscape images. He is renowned for his use of striking detail and his ability to capture the perfect image of a landscape. His pictures are beautiful and full of vivid detail. He squeezes out every bit of magnificence that the landscape has and ensures that he gets every bit of detail in perfect clarity. Each of his images has such a great tonal range that it beggars belief that so many shades of grey exists between each end of the spectrum. His work almost demands respect with how powerful the images are and how striking they are to each person who sees them. Just by looking at his landscape works, you see how skilled he is in taking each of the images as he uses the available lighting to flatter the landscapes. He takes multiple shots in order to ensure the best chance at capturing the perfect moment in time. His work suspends the most pure scenes in time for all eternity. His work is also a record of how the landscape looked like then. Evidence of his lasting popularity, even after his death, is in how many people purchase a print of his works, and how many of his images are in the galleries. Thank you for watching my presentation.